So don't worry, that history lesson is also about the Quran. I think you got it. I paused the video. Well, that history lesson is about the Arabs. Ibrahim alayhi salam was commanded by Allah Azza wa Jal to leave his wife and Ismail alayhi salam in the middle of the Meccan desert, where there are no trees, there are hardly some trees, where there is no water, and he has to do it. Why? Because, command of Allah Azza wa Jal, what else can he do? So he goes there and leaves them and says to them, I am leaving, and he leaves. And these people are behind. So what they do, you know the story, and then after some time that water of Zamzam appeared there. After that, a Yemeni tribe, in old times, people used to travel a lot. They didn't need a passport in that time, so they used to travel a lot. A Yemeni tribe, a tribe from the Yemen, it was traveling and it found Mecca to be a good place to live. I don't know why, because there are not a lot of trees, nor a lot of vegetation, and hardly some water. I mean, what's the need to live in Mecca? They found something over there, and they started to live there. And Ismail alayhi salam is grown amongst them. After a few years, when Ismail alayhi salam grows up into an adult, Ibrahim alayhi salam is commanded to go back to the Mecca, and he goes there. And he finds the Yemeni tribe over there, and he finds that his wife and child are okay, and he gets happy. And he gets commanded by Allah Azza wa Jal to build the Kaaba along with his son Ismail alayhi salam, and these both build the Kaaba, and they make them. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, makes the dua that Allah sent amongst these people, I mean the people of Mecca, send amongst them a messenger who will, purify them and recite your revelation of and recite upon them your book that he will recite upon them, and all this stuff. The dua, I think it's mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. So he builds a Kaaba. Once he builds a Kaaba, and then he is commanded by Allah Azza wa Jal in a dream that he has to sacrifice his son, and he was saved by Allah Azza wa Jal. I think you know the story well. So Ismail alayhi salam is the prophet towards these people of Yemen who are living in the Mecca. Now, after a lot of amazing things happen with the descendants of Ishaq alayhi salam, the Bani Israel. Actually, they're descendants of Yaqub alayhi salam. Indirectly, they are descendants of Ishaq alayhi salam, their grandfather. But the thing is that a lot of amazing things were happening with the Banu Israel, but a lot of something amazing was not happening with the children of Ismail alayhi salam. These people just became desert Bedouins, did not have much. Even the three empires, which the three great empires around them, the Ethiopian Empire, the Roman Empire, and the Persian Empire, these people were not even interested in, conquering the Arab lands, because what will they get? What will they get? Nothing except for a desert and a few people who don't do much stuff. These people, what they did was that they were Bedouins. They had a few sheep, which they used to raise in their lives, and they had a Kaaba, which was the center of the worship, but not the center of some politics. That's why it was not a really amazing place to be captured. So, what do these people of Arab do in this whole time? When you have got nations, developing nations have a competition between them, military competition, different kinds of competitions they have. But these people living in the Arabia, especially in the Mecca, they don't have any kind of competition. I mean, they're just free from all stuff. They're just traders. They do some trade, and they have got sheep and camels, and they don't have much except for Kaaba. So what do they do in this time? What will they do? What they do was that they improve their language. I mean, living alone in an isolated place, you don't have much people around you. What you do? Let's they thought that let's improve our language. That's what we are gonna do. So they improved their language, named the Arabic language. And Arabic remained an isolated language from the world, even though it has got some taste of other languages, really less taste of other languages. But if you see Arabic, it's Up to a large extent, up to 99% of Arabic, it is completely isolated. It's on its own. Only 1% words are from here and there. 99% of Arabic, it is completely pure Arabic by these Arabs. Well, if you go today to the Arabia, they have got a different version of Arabic. Their Arabic has completely changed, and that's not the actual Arabic. If you want to read this pure Arabic, the actual Arabic of the Arabs, then or you can read Quran. That's the purest form of Arabic today available. So these people, what they do, they improve their language. Now, if you want to become rich in ancient Arabia, I mean, you are a really poor guy and you don't have much, but you really want to become rich in less time, and you don't want to do a lot of things. You don't want to work. You have got a shortcut, and that is to create an amazing piece of poetry. Because if you're able to create this amazing piece of poetry, then people are just people will just love you. They will elevate your status. You will be like a merchant in the Arabia. That's what's gonna happen. So to impress Arabs, you needed an impressive piece of poetry. And Rasulullah Sallam comes. Rasulullah Sallam is not an celebrity, pretty much an orphan. He has not got a lot of money. I mean, he's not poor, but he's not also a millionaire. He has not got a lot of political power, nothing like that. But he is chosen by Allah Azza wa Jal to be the prophet. And to make his work easy, he gives him, of course, he gives him a miracle. And what is that miracle? Quran. That miracle is the Quran. So now Quran is given to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he reads the Quran upon these people. And Quran, what is so special about this book? You have to understand the situation of this place, of Mecca. These people are Bedouins, pretty much shepherds. They don't do any stuff. So they don't do a lot of stuff. I mean, and if they want to do something, the best they can do in the world to contribute is to send their caravans towards the north and the south, north in the winters and south in the summers. That's the highest they can do. Actually, north in the summers and south in the winters. I think. So if I remember correctly, then this is what they do. So that's all they can contribute to the world. When Rasulullah Sallallahu comes, he is coming with his Quran, which is an excellent piece of. It's not poetry, but it is something far better than the poetry. I mean, this thing, this amazing book, it amazed everyone. It amazed everyone. That's why when people listen to the Quran, they just became Muslims. And that's the reason the Arabs they used to say to those pagan Arabs, they used to say to others, don't listen to this man. If you listen to his word, then you are also you will also become like him. So don't listen to him. Why? Because they knew that this is something far better than poetry. There's something far better than poetry. There are many tales. There are many tales. Dear Elias tales. And there are little stories in the Arab culture, which shows how much these people were, impressed by the Quran, but they did not accept it easily. That's a different topic. Why did not accept it easily? But the thing is that Quran came as a miracle of language, and that is what impressed people throughout generations. And as there was a scientific revolution, an historical revolution, these miracles of the Quran also took their place. So when you listen to Quran, you are not only listening to some guidance, but you're also listening to something else. You're also listening to an amazing piece by Allah Azza wa Jalla Himself. So that's what makes the Quran better than all the literature ever. That's what makes it. The thing is that when we go towards the Quran, why do we go there? I've already explained, to become better slaves of Allah Azza wa Jalla, to worship Him in a better way. When you go to the Quran, when you read it, and we are impressed by its Arabic, what do? Your iman increases. And as your iman increases, you want to do even better. You want to do even better. So therefore, it's important for us to know Quran. not only from a scientific perspective, not only from a historical perspective. You don't only have to analyze Quran through a scientific perspective and an historical perspective and through a political science perspective. Not only that, Quran, it is original miracle. It is the linguistic miracle of the Quran. That's why it is to be understood in this way. That's why learning Arabic is important, and that's why when you come to the Quran, it's not just a book of guidance. It is a book of miracle and guidance at the same time. هدى للناس وأن in the ayat of the Ramadan, I forgot them. He say شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى وبينات من الهدى. These are the clear signs. It is a clear signs and the guidance at the same time. Clear signs and guidance at the same time. That's what motivates us for learning the Quran, to become better slaves of Allah Azza wa Jal, and be impressed by this amazing miracle. That is a miracle which will last forever till the day of Qiyamah. You see, the guy with the Musa alayhi salam who watches this water part, he's gonna get amazed by it. I mean, how did the water part? And he tells his son, what I saw when I was young. I saw, Musa some, hits a stone with his staff, and the water gets parted, and sounds like, whoa, that's cool. And the son tells his son, and this story passes through generations. And today, your grandfather tells you, what happens? What happened a lot of years ago? There was a prophet named Musa alayhi salam, and he took his staff and he, hit the stone with it, and the water parted. Is it really something which amazes? It amazes us if we believe. But the thing is that it's not that amazing for us to listen. I mean, it's best if you are able to see it. But the thing with the Quran is it that it is the last revelation ever. If the miracle of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it was to throw a stone and it will go up. If it was that, then only pagan Arabs would be convinced. But Allah Azza wa Jal, in His wisdom, sent this Quran as a linguistic miracle so that people did the Yawm al Qiyamah, they will get motivated with this Quran. You know, they will make this Quran as something which governs their lives. That's why Quran is the linguistic miracle. Now, miracles are exception to laws. I have already explained. Miracles are exception to laws. So what does it mean that Quran's miracle is the linguistic miracle? So does it mean that Quran is so extraordinary in its literature that it is something exception to the laws? Yes, of course. A human mind can never create something like this. It can never create something like this. Just try it. You won't be able to create it. وإن كنتم في ريب ما مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله. If you are in doubt what we had revealed upon our slave, just create one surah like it. That's all you have to do. But no one is able to do it, nor will be able to do it. That is the introduction to Quran. When we come to the Quran, we have to keep in mind that this is the book which has changed the course of history. So that was what we are going to, and that's what we had discussed in this video so far. So what we had discussed, number one, Allah Azza wa Jal sends prophets with some miracles. The miracle of the Quran is its language miracle, its linguistic miracle. That's its original miracle. And Quran, to convince people, it puts it has a linguistic miracle in it mixed with the guidance. That's why it's important to learn Quran, because when you learn Arabic and understand Quran through the language perspective, you're amazed by it. You're completely amazed by it. So that's why when we will do the tafsir of the Quran, we'll not only go through the Quranic guidance, but we'll also go through its linguistic miracle. So barakallahu wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.